Netflix just dropped a brand new video featuring Hwang Dong-hyuk, Lee Jung-jae, and Lee Byung-hun reacting to some of the most popular fan theories about Squid Game Season 3. And while the director debunked several long-standing questions from the fandom, the most interesting part, he admitted that one of these theories is partially true. Let me know in the comments, which one do you think he's talking about? Let's start with one of the most talked about topics in the Squid Game community, the drawings on the walls. Back in Season 1, as players were eliminated and beds were removed from the dorms, fans noticed mysterious drawings revealed on the walls. These turned out to be Easter eggs, foreshadowing the upcoming games. Naturally, when Season 2 aired, everyone started analyzing the dorm walls again, hoping for clues about the final 3 games. This season, 2 specific drawings caught everyone's attention, one that resembled monkey bars and another with a checkered pattern, leading many to speculate that the upcoming games might involve human chess and some kind of climbing challenge. Well, Hwang Dong-hyuk finally addressed it and shut it down. He confirmed that the drawings on the walls this time are not related to the games. Why? Because he wouldn't reuse the same storytelling trick again. That means no monkey bars, no human chess, none of that. Honestly, I'm glad Dong-hyuk clarified this. The wall theory hype has been massive, but it never quite added up. I've said it before, the odds of a human chess game were extremely low, and now we finally have confirmation. Let's be real, after how iconic the Season 1 twist was, it only makes sense that he wouldn't go that obvious again. He knows fans are watching closely, so the clues now are probably more subtle and layered. Now let's move on to another widely believed theory that's been floating around forever. In-ho is Il-nam's son. The origin of this theory goes back to Season 1, when Il-nam mentioned he had a son who couldn't drink plain milk. Then in Season 2, In-ho gave his milk to Jun-hee, saying he couldn't drink plain milk either. That small connection led to a huge wave of speculation. Were they secretly father and son? Watching the cast react to this theory was honestly hilarious. They joked about Il-nam having one big happy family, with In-ho and Gi-hun as brothers. But Dong-hyuk quickly shut it down, saying, "2 people being lactose intolerant doesn't mean they're related. A lot of people are that way." And that's that. Confirmed false. Thank you. Now we can finally end this discussion once and for all. The milk theory always sounded very stupid from the start. The only reason In-ho gave his milk to Jun-hee is because he wanted to get closer to Gi-hun, and in order to do that, the frontman appealed to Gi-hun's softer side. In Season 1, Gi-hun gave his milk to Ali because he couldn't drink plain milk. The frontman used the same device in Season 2 to bond with Gi-hun. That's the only reason he gave his milk to Jun-hee, not because he's Il-nam's son, and not because he cares about her. He only wanted to gain Gi-hun's trust. We know from Season 2 that In-ho and Jun-ho are brothers who share the same father. So if this theory were true, it would mean Il-nam was also Jun-ho's father. I don't think Il-nam would let his son infiltrate the base and risk being killed. He was one of the wealthiest men in the world and had connections everywhere. If Jun-ho were his child, I'm pretty sure he would have had someone follow him around and keep him out of trouble. Another game theory debunked in this video is that the 2-doll game is not Dongdaemun. The main argument behind this theory was that in the final scene of Season 2, when the railroad traffic light appears, you could see the tops of people's heads lined up on the tracks. Also, the game's background seemed to mimic the Dongdaemun song. In front of Young-hee is the sunset, and behind her appears to be night, which aligns with the lyric "The gate closes at midnight." The theory suggested that the dolls hold hands and players walk in a circle while the green light and the song are on. Once the song stops and the light turns red, the 2 dolls lower their hands, and all the players trapped within are killed. The first time I heard this theory, I immediately thought it couldn't happen because the distance between the 2 dolls seems way too far for them to hold hands, and honestly, it would be kind of boring to watch people walking around in circles, even if elimination results in death. I also don't believe the game would be jump rope, at least not the standard version where you need to jump and avoid touching the rope. Because based on the dolls' locations, The rope wouldn't be fast enough to pose a real challenge, and most people would easily jump over it. I think the actual game will be much darker and more difficult than people imagine, and I believe it has something to do with the rope tied to the ceiling. The last theory, debunked by the cast, is the idea that the promotional poster reveals who will live and who will die in Season 3. The photo they commented on is this one. I'm sorry, but I couldn't find the original photo, and if I tried to zoom in, it would be way too blurry. But based on that photo, it seemed like Daeho, Gi-hun, and Hyunju would survive because they are standing up, while everyone else would die because they are sitting down. The cast debunked this theory and declared that the photo is just a promotional poster. In-ho said that they all switched between sitting and standing, and as proof of that, I found another photo identical to the one they were commenting on. But in this new one, someone else is standing up alongside the original three. Also, the director stated that the photographers didn't know the plot, so they just picked the photo they thought would have the biggest impact. I believe this applies to all the promotional posters we've seen for Season 3. I don't know if you've heard about a new theory related to the newly released poster. In this one, we see that the players are all looking in different directions. Gi-hun is looking straight at the camera. Players 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3, 3 are looking at Gi-hun, Daeho, and Hyunju are looking to the left, while the shaman lady and the mother-son duo are looking to the right. Based on this, people have speculated that Junhee and Miyungi would survive, Daeho and Hyunju would die, and the mother-son duo and the shaman lady would survive, but that a sacrifice might be required. I believe the same logic applies to the so-called triangle theory. In Season 1, there was a promotional poster where the three finalists, Gi-hun, Sae-byok, and Sang-woo, were placed next to each other. In a similar Season 2 photo, we see the same positioning with Gi-hun, Junhee, and Myeongi. This became known as the triangle theory, and suggested that those three players would be the finalists in the final season. But Hwang has said that he won't reuse motifs from the first season, and I think that applies here too. All of these posters are meant purely for promotion. There were 3 other theories debunked in that video. One suggested that Gyeomja is the mastermind behind the games, based on her old age, and the fact that she was allowed to keep a hidden knife. Another claimed that Min-soo is a VIP because he resembles the actor who played the deer-masked VIP in Season 1. The last theory suggested that Gi-hun will become the frontman by the end of the season. But here's the catch. Lee Byung-hun said that one of these theories was half right and half wrong. So let me know in the comments which theory you think he was talking about. My guess, it's the one about the game wall, because why would they add that detail to the wall, especially knowing fans would analyze it if it wasn't going to be relevant to the story?